Hey everyone, it's the Yugioh. This is going to be a video response to your Yu-Gi-Oh channel, habits that players have that you hate. There's three for me that I can't stand playing against people when they have these habits. The first habit is, I don't know if you want to call it like overconfident or something, but like when they don't wait for a reply, when they just like start doing stuff and they just like a perfect example. I was playing a dragon player yesterday, and I went summon Bowman, set 3, pass. He drew. He's like, okay, activate terraforming, search ravine, activate ravine's effect, pitch a monster from my hand to the graveyard, pitch this to the graveyard from my deck, and I'm just like, dude, are you gonna like stop for 2 seconds so I can actually activate a card? I mean, like, you have no idea what my face downs are, and you're just going off and not asking for any responses. So yeah, I guess that's my first pet peeve. Or first annoying habit is when people just don't ask for responses. They assume you have nothing and that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. It's really annoying. Like, it just how hard is it to say, I'm gonna activate this? Is that okay? And your opponent says, okay, go for it, and just keep doing that. Like, I mean, it takes 2 seconds. I mean, just do it. And too many players just don't. Like, all the players go Fire Frozen 10 key and they'll pick up their deck right away and start searching. And I'm like, MST? No, screw you. You know, it's just like, I mean, just wait for a response. Like, is it that hard? The second thing that I really think is, the second, I guess you could say, pet peeve I have, or the second thing, habit that I don't like that players do, is, like, over shuffling. Now, I don't know if you guys ever run into this. I don't run into it too much, but sometimes, you'll run into a player who shuffles their deck a lot, like a gadget player or something, and when they shuffle their deck, they won't pick it up and just shuffle it. They'll pick it up and shuffle it for like a minute straight, and then put it down, activate another card that searches, pick it up, shuffle it for like a minute straight, and just keep doing this. Then they just shuffle for like half the duel. Like, that's half the duel right there. It's just them shuffling for fucking ages, and then they're like, okay, you want to cut? Okay, and then I'll cut. Okay, final cut. It's just like, I mean, it's a tactic to waste time, and it's just really freaking annoying. So yeah, like I said, I mean, first of all, it's like not asking for responses and being like, hey, fuck you, I don't care what you have, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna play my own, like, that was the biggest problem, is like, the past couple formats has been basically a touching yourself format. I mean, you didn't have to care what your opponent had. You pretty much had a combo, you went off, you played the combo, you won. Like, you could just sit there and just do whatever. You could derp for like 5 minutes and win the game. This format's not like that. This format, you've gotta ask for responses, you've gotta wait for responses. This is a response format. It is a back row format. So like I said, I mean, it's a different format, and people just aren't used to that. They're used to just going, I'm going to summon this monster and get this, and do this, and do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then I'll end my turn. Which doesn't work, because you go, I'll get this monster, and then this monster, and then I'm just going to be like, okay, torrential. I mean, I'm not going to let you go, like, freaking crazy. So that's, like I said, those are the first two things. The third thing is the one I mainly want to talk about, because the third thing is it's not the worst thing in the world, but it probably is the most annoying. And the third thing that really annoys me is when a player constantly, I don't want to be rude about it, but constantly, like, is just stupid. Like, I mean, I hate to say this, but when you have to explain the same card to him multiple times because he's just too lazy to remember what it does, I mean, this is a perfect example. Like, I had a guy I played once, and I played Mass Change, and he didn't even read Mass Change. He just said, what does it do? So I picked up the card, and I read him the card. And he looked at me, he's like, okay, so what does that mean? And I'm like, it means what's on the card. Like, I send a hero to the graveyard, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay. And so later, I Mass Changed a acid into an acid, and he got all pissed off. He's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yes, you can. He says, earlier you told me you have to send an element with a hero. I'm like, no. I said target one hero monster, send it to the graveyard, blah, blah, blah. I read him the exact card effect on the card. And they'll sit there and argue with you about it. And it's just like, I just don't understand. Like, they're just stupid to the point where they just don't even think about it. Like, I'll have players who will activate Pot of Duality, activate a Lure of Darkness, then activate another Pot of Duality. It's like, how do you forget you just Pot of Duality? You Pot of Duality into a Lure, and then you allured into a Pot of Duality, and you're going to play another Pot of Duality? No, you can't do that. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's general incompetence or just stupidity on players' part. Or, like, not, like 50% of the players I play who play Pod Duality, they'll play Pod Duality and then like summon a monster. The special summons a monster. And I'm like, okay, you don't get the effect. They're like, why? I'm like, you play Pod Duality. Or they'll try and special summon and then play Pot of Duality. They're like, well, I've already special summoned, so now Pot of Duality just says for the rest of the turn. No, it doesn't. It says you cannot special summon during the turn you get to this card. So if you've already special summoned, you cannot play this card. And they don't understand that. They just can't understand it, and I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it. There's no way to explain these kind of habits to people. Like I mean, and it is so hard to like play somebody who's like this, because no matter how much you explain what a card does, you know, like 5 minutes down the road, like they're gonna ask what the card does again. I mean, this guy asked me, what does what was it? Shining did. He asked me what Shining did, and I told him if this card is sent to the graveyard, or when this card is sent to the graveyard, I can add up to 2 banished heroes for my, you know, blah 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 for my, etc. And so he plays Dark Hole and then activates Book of Moon and says, "Okay, you missed timing." And I'm like, "What?" Like he just assumed I missed timing because it's an optional effect. He didn't even like think about like Book of Moon flips the face down, then Dark Hole resolves. The last thing to resolve is destroying it, so I get the effect. And then he tried to argue since it's face down and got destroyed, I don't get the effect. Period. And I'm like, no, it activates in the graveyard. And they're like, no, face down monsters don't have effects. Like, I guess it's just general stupidity. It's like there's some people in this game who are so dumb, in my opinion. Like you can't play against them. I mean, playing against them, you become like a teacher trying to teach a 5-year-old. I mean, you gotta teach him like how to spell and how to like do everything. Like you gotta break out all the basic subjects with him. I mean, I had a guy who was playing me one time, and he was playing he played Solemn Judgment, and he sat there for like 3 minutes trying to figure out what his life points were. I'm like, how is it hard? You had 5,200 life points. That's 2,600 life points now. How is that hard? Like, it took you 3 minutes to figure that out? Sometimes I wonder if some of these Yu-Gi-Oh players ever graduated, like, middle school, or even grade school for that matter. I mean, that's simple math. So, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, those are the things that, like, really annoy me the most. So, this is the Gadget Guru, and I'll catch everyone later.